You may be wondering what's going on. I know my upload schedule has been not even a schedule, it's just kind of been I'm uploading whenever I feel like it and whenever I have something recorded. But I've since the new White Forest and Azamina stuff finally got added to Master Duel, I was like, screw it. So this account on my computer, I believe, is the one that has the White Forest deck as well. Oh no, it's my PlayStation second account has the White Forest deck. But my PlayStation main account, I'm trying to build one. The issue is that it's extremely high rarity, with a lot of the cards being URs, and the PlayStation main account doesn't have those. And the URs I do have for the PlayStation account are the Fiendsmith package and Orcust, so I'm not getting rid of those. Uh, but because of that, I need gems, and even though I opened the pack, funnily enough, the packs that I opened for the main account where I got to keep everything, oh, they sucked. But the packs I opened in the Maskist account just so I can get the mate, yeah, those were like literally some of the best packs I've ever gotten on Master Duel. So go figure. But I've just been playing my Orcust deck. I changed it up a bit. I believe this was the iteration of the deck I was playing in previous recordings. Droll was still at 3 and Called by was still at 2. But you could just take these out and, I don't know. I found other cards to put in. But it was still playing the 2 Trickstar Nightshade. I was. At one point, I was playing 3 Galatea, funnily enough. But it's just a pure Orcus deck. Eventually, though, I started adding this card, NT 8000 Sirius, which, if you've never seen it, if it's linked, it can't be destroyed by battle, which doesn't really matter. I guess if you link it with a Galatea, you have 2 monsters can't be destroyed by battle, but that might not be a good thing. And then, if it is sent to the grave except from the field, while you control a Dark Link monster, you get to summon it, but it gets banished when it leaves the field. So if it goes from hand or deck to the grave, then it gets to summon itself if you have a Dark Link monster on the field. And then if a Link monster's effect, yours or your opponent's, was activated, it does not need to resolve. If you go, even if you go like activate a Link monster and they like forbidden droplet in response, you'll still be able to use him. You can target a face-up card you and your opponent control and destroy them. So quite nice, honestly. This card is actually very well fit in Orcust. I saw someone playing it before, and I was like, why are you playing this? It seems so niche. It's because Orcust Nightmare can send any Dark Machine. So on your turn, you can use it as an extender, although there's better extenders to be sending. But mainly on your opponent's turn, after you set up your board, you can use a Orcust Nightmare you put back in your grave to send this, which gives you one extra piece of interaction. So instead of your end board being the Omni Negate, the Steel, and the Dingirsu Send, it becomes the Omni Negate, the Steel, the Ningirsu Send, and this Sirius Pop, which is pretty nice, if I'm honest. And since I was looking for cards I could just get rid of if needed, and I noticed I have all the Fiendsmith stuff, I was like, why not just put the Fiendsmith stuff in here? Like, I can use it to get Nibiru protection, or I could just use it as just a straight up Fiendsmith thing and get Desiree. So I decided I'll put it in, and worst case, I can use it as extra materials as I'm climbing. And this was the deck before, and I believe this should be different. Yes. I cut out the Drolls because I was just like, honestly, if I'm getting hit by a Maxi or a Charmy, probably doesn't matter if I have Droll. And then I got rid of the one of Called by the Grave because I'm like, I'm not playing that card at 1. I even decrafted it. It was only 10 gems. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to play this stupid card. I've maxed out on Ash Blossom. I actually cut down 1 Crescendo. I was playing 2 Crescendo so I could Crescendo on my opponent's turn and then use a Galatea that I can like summon back occasionally to get the second one back. But I learned in a previous video that England Girsu targets a Orcust or World Legacy card, which means if I banish Return or Crescendo anyway, he can just get them back for me and also shuffle them back, so technically Galatea gets them back still. So I was like, huh, yeah, that works for me, okay. So that's why it's 40 cards instead of 43. Uh, the extra deck space is ludicrously tight in this deck because if you're going for the Fiendsmith package to actually be able to make Caesar or make the what's it called, the Desiree, if you want to be able to have the ability to make both, then you need to play Caesar and Lacrima. But if you just want to make Desiree, then that gives you 2 extra spots because then you don't necessarily need to play Lacrima and you don't necessarily need to play Caesar. So then that would give you 2 extra deck spots to work with. In those spots, I would honestly suggest, I took it out, but I would definitely put it back in if I could, Nightmare Phoenix. There have been a couple times now where that has really come up for me. And then probably a second copy of Dingirsu wouldn't be hard. Uh, my main goal is to make Wave High King Caesar so I can get Nibiru protection. So either they nib me on the way, and it's like, cool, now I can do my Orcust stuff, or they uh, interrupt me some other way on the way, and it's like, cool, now I have bodies. I guess the one other card I would put in here, if I had the space, would be Moon of the Closed Heaven, just because there are some hands where you can make it without your normal, so that way you can bridge into Fiendsmith first, and then from there bridge into Orcust, but it's just a bit difficult because it requires a lot of cards in your hand. But all in all, I think this is a pretty solid list. I don't really know what I would change with it. I like see online some places where people question if you should play 2 or 1 copy of Nightmare. I think it's better to play 2. I think the games that you brick, you like if in 100 games, I feel like maybe 3 of them tops, you're bricking on. Oh, this is a hand of 5 monsters that can't be summoned. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of just how it works if you play a deck that has monsters that are big and can't summon themselves. But having 2 of this has been very helpful, especially in situations where like one of them gets hit by like a Bestial before I activate it. As long as I can get the other one engraved while I have the field spell up, that doesn't matter anymore. So that's pretty nice. But enough of me yapping. I actually want to show off these games. So this first opponent, they're playing Malice. Now you may be looking at this deck and be like, what? Okay, this is a... Okay, we're going to close that. You may be looking at this deck and be like, okay, this is just a regular Malice deck with some Bestial stuff thrown in there, sure. I only got 1 Lancia, but I guess they're just playing it... Oh, never mind, they're not even playing it for Crossout. It's like, it's just a regular Malice list. What's so special? Well, number one, they aren't playing Red Ransom. They're actually following the new ban list already, even though it hasn't gone into effect yet, and they're only playing the White Binder instead. Uh, I mean, this deck is still insanely good just because it's freaking endless link fodder. Like, one of, one of, one of, one of. There's a reason all these cards are freaking one ofs. Uh, Also, where is he? I'm surprised this guy isn't run at extra copies. Like, play 2 of them at least. Jeez, he's really good. But, let's see how things went down. I believe they went first, if I remember correct. And I was thinking, like, oh, getting rid of Red Ransom does literally nothing. Like, oh well, but actually going against them, this does change how Malice plays. Now you'll notice I'll have a Droll in my hand, and you'll see just how useful that Droll is. So they go the 1 of Gold Sarcophagus, I'm like, crap, it's Malice. For the 1 of Dormouse, I'm like, yep, okay. And I'm like, okay, well, Droll can hit the Red Ransom at least. So they go Dormouse, banish White Rabbit effect, get TB11, make Lingery Bow, summon the Wizard Adagnister. Now here's where I think things start getting a bit wacky. They don't really have the best zones right now, so I think what they should have done, definitely not put him here. I believe they're able to make the like the Link decoder. So I feel like they should have made Link decoder, and then gone Link decoder with whichever Malice name they didn't use, plus the Wizard, plus uh, the Lingaribo to make transcode. Then, or not even transcode. You can just go straight for White Binder, honestly. Uh, then you can summon the Link decoder, but I think transcode's better because you get the arrow. So you go transcode, summon back the Link decoder. So now you have the Malice name, probably, and the Link decoder and transcode. Then you can link into Wizard. Then you can Wizard back a guy. The issue is you have to transcode first. It is hard for me to articulate and figure out because I don't play this deck, nor do I want to. But in the end, it just leads to them having a pretty subpar board where they link these three for White Binder, and I'm like, well, that sucks for me. And I know that they have the card to summon from deck, and then they use White Binder. Oh, that's right, because I forgot White Binder has effects. So yeah, you could even do that. You could make White Binder there. You can go, because White Binder just reads 2 monsters, including a Malice. So you go make Link Decoder using Dormouse, then link Lingaribo, the Link Decoder, and the Wizard for transcode, bring back Decode, then decode Malice for Wizard, Wizard for a Malice name, summon White Binder to the transcode talker zone, then Binder set the summon from deck, I believe, is the one they set the first time. This is from Grave. Yeah. Set the one that summons from deck. Or set the one that summons from Grave, rather. Or even just set the one that searches a monster to get March Hare access. But then you would banish the White Binder to activate the one that summons from deck. To summon Chessie. White Binder triggers. Pay 900, summon herself, draw a card. Then you can transcode for the Cyberse Wizard. You can then do Cyberse Wizard plus the Dormouse for, I believe, Heart's Cryptor just requires a Malice as well. No, it's 3 monsters. So you can honestly just link all 3 into Heart's Cryptor. And then you can banish the Heart's Cryptor with the summon from Grave card, I believe. Just summon back Chessie Cat from Grave, because it will be there. And then you get to summon back the Heart Scriptor. By this point, you probably have a Malice card in hand that you can banish for Chessie Cat. And oh hey, would you look at that? It's cool. Honestly, if they didn't set the Grave one here and they set the Search card one, they get Chessie Cat and March Hare, which I think is better. But they could say all this to say, even someone who doesn't know how to play this deck was probably playing this deck, at least in my head, better than them, because what they end on is pitiful. They link these for Cyberse Wicked Pass. I forgot, oh yeah, Cyberse Wicked exists. Dude, why didn't... You had Lingaribo, a Malice... You had Lingaribo, a Malice named Wizard. Why not go link Lingaribo and a Malice name for Wicked, then turn the Wizard into Decoder, then you can use Wicked to get the backups. So many lines they just biffed. So I know that their back row consists of a card to revive a Malice and a card to summon a Malice from deck. And then they have 3 unknowns in hand. So I decide, okay, let's start with Orchestrated Return. We're going to send World Legacy World Crown. I did this on purpose, by the way. I wanted to keep this as a normal summon. They go max C, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I haven't done anything to special, and I'm probably dead here anyways, but it's whatever. I have the Droll, so I can stop that, since I can make this my last search, or I can make getting tracked be my last search. Because then I'll search it, and then get Lurie. Lurie will summon itself, and I can droll on the summon of Lurie because they draw a card. Well, on Resolution, they just droll me, and I'm like, oh. Well, I don't gotta use mine, so thanks. So now my Tracked and my Engraver are dead here. Then on Resolution, they go for TB11 to summon a Malice monster from deck, and since they don't control, or since I don't control 3 or more cards, they can't summon the one from extra, which wouldn't matter anyways for this. But then they go GWC immediately to summon the White Binder, gain a life, summon Chessie Cat from deck, which they can't activate the effects of. Then they go White Binder, banish Dormouse and White Rabbit, that makes sense. But then they banish the Orchestrated Return instead of the World Crown, which, like, why? For what reason would you do that? Okay. So then they do all this, and then they set the search, but I play around this card for the rest of the match, pretty much. I was like, okay, at any point they can just banish Chessie Cat to search March Hare, and then Chessie will come back, or they can banish White Binder, and then White Binder comes back, doesn't really matter. But then I remembered, like, oh wait, they drolled themselves. It doesn't matter. So I decided, like, oh, okay, well, I drew Orcust. Their hand was Maxi Droll Ash. They could have just ashed the Orchestrated Return, waited for me to commit to something that, like, special summons on effect, or even, like, do a card that, like, I would link for a link one, and then hold the Droll for, like, a few draws. Because, like, they just wasted all 3 cards in their hands. Like, oh, whatever. And, fun fact, had they not drolled and this thing was live, technically speaking, I would lose right here because they could just banish my normal summon. But I'm going to play around it. So I summon the token to both fields, since they still have an empty zone. Thankfully for me, they wouldn't have had that if they didn't droll. Turn the token into the link one. And remember when I can't search from deck, but this can grab from grave. So that World Crown that they didn't banish, I can get it back, and that lets me get the Sirius in my hand into the grave. And since I have a Dark Link, Sirius triggers. I summoned him in defense, but I should have summoned him in attack. So I link for Nightmare Cerberus. I use Nightmare Cerberus to get rid of Dormouse first. Then I Mermaid. I just get rid of the Droll, I'm not going to need it. Get Nightmare. Summon the World Crown to a zone it points to. Get myself a nice Galatea. Go Harp Horror for Symbol. Galatea. Shuffle back the Harp Horror. And now I have Field Spell Access. Sorry for all this showing on the side of the screen, it's annoying, I know. Link these two for Longirsu. Now, I do make a mistake here, by the way. I activate this, and the mistake isn't this. I target him because he can't be destroyed by card effects right now, but I try and destroy Chessie Cat, which, because it's being pointed to by Cyber's Wicked, nothing happens. So I'm like, I was supposed to destroy White Binder there. But it's fine. So I use the Symbol Skeleton, annoying, to get back the Galatea here. Then I put back Symbol and Girsu to send the Wicked. Then I make Ding. Ding effect, I get rid of the trap so they can't use it on their turn. Link these for a Link 4 and Longirsu. And Longirsu, I can just get back the spell that they banished anyways. Now I can go Nightmare, buff him, send the World Wand, then and I take White Binder so they can't draw March Hare, banish it, and get off to their races. Now I link these two for my last Galatea, go Battle Phase. Had I put him in attack, they'd be taking an extra 34 here, but it doesn't really matter. Because now I have put them on literally no cards. Like, they have nothing. They top deck White Rabbit, but they have no traps in deck because they only play one of each. And I just Galatea, shuffle something back, then set Orcust Crescendo, buff with that, send the World Wand, and then just grab this back, and I don't even let them link into a link one. I'm just like, give it. I felt very proud of myself for that, but I also understand I'm only winning this game because my opponent is bad. If my opponent was good and knew how their deck worked, I lost. My next and final match for this, it's Trap Tricks with an Armored Exceeds package. Like, I understand, still kind of confused me a bit. And then they're playing some questionable targets. They're playing Chain Hole, which negates effects that activate in response to a monster effect. Or correction, uh, yeah. So when your opponent activates a monster effect in response to a card, so if you go something and then they chain like Baron, this would negate the Baron, and then the opponent can choose to banish a card with the same name as the negated card, and if they don't, you banish one from their hand. So I understand why they're playing this at 1. It's like, technically it is a negate for negates, kinda, and it makes them banish a card from their hand at random, which could be nice. Playing only one Gravediggers is a choice, I'd say. And then they got one Trap Hole Nightmare. They're just playing one of all these Trap Holes. And then they're playing a Break Off Trap Hole, which, like, I guess makes sense for, like, Malice players. They're playing Banishing Trap Hole, which is very funny. Like, I didn't think I'd see this card. But it just feels so bare bones. Like, I feel like they need more Trap Tricks monsters in this for this to be better. Like, I feel like 3 Arachnocampa is a mandatory inclusion for this deck. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. And if you're wanting to, like, mix a deck together, I think putting in the Armored Exceeds cards isn't a good pick. I tinkered with it a little. I never got to make it in MD, but I'm pretty sure a Ragnarika strategy was honestly pretty good. Like, Ragnarika Trap Tricks could be pretty good. They do have some synergies with each other, but whatever. Let's show the replay. This one was a fun one. I only won because of a very lucky draw on a pivotal moment. So they won the die, or the coin flip, and I have a Perulia, which is nice, and Ash. So I go Perulia, it resolves. They normal summon Pudica. I decide I'm not going to let them get the field spell. I was thinking, like, should I save Ash for the Sarah if they can activate Sarah turn 1? And I was like, I'd rather not let them have the field spell because the field spell will protect the Sarah from, like, me normal summoning a guy and beating it. So the Ash resolves, they don't get the field. They make Sarah, and then they go set to pass. Draw for turn. We get Foolish. I'm like, okay, pretty good. So I go Orchestrated Return, Pitch Crown, draw 2. I'm like, okay, so we can do full Orcust combo with the Hornet drones here, and then we also have the Fabled Lurie, which is good. They go Maxi, and I'm like, frick. Because can't really beat that. So I give them a draw. I normal summon the Symbol Skeleton. They have nothing they can do to stop it, so I just kill the Sarah in battle. Main 2, I go Foolish Burial, and I send Nightmare. Funnily enough, I should have activated Nightmare to send Harp here, and you'll see why in a second. They go Dionea to get Pudica. Pudica effect, banish my token, and even though the token didn't go to the banish zone, that effect that Pudica has, where it says "but your opponent can special summon a monster during the next standby phase from their banish zone," if I had done Nightmare to send Harp, I would have Nightmare in right here, which matters. So Diana in, then Sarah in. They set Holitea, so at any time now they can activate that to get a either spell trap destruction, or they can get it for another Pudica to banish. So they seize these two in Rafflesia. I'm like, okay, so I know that they have a spell trap destruction or a banish, any trap hole in the game, and then two unknowns. Or three unknowns, I guess, if you count the hand. So I get Engraver. I go Engraver, Called By. They called, instead of called buying my Orcust Nightmare when I sent it there, they called by the Engraver, which is so funny because also if they called by the Orcust after I sent it there, then when Pudica triggered on their turn, I would bring back the no longer negated Nightmare, which is very funny. It's like, okay. So because I know how Pudica works, I was thinking like, okay, well I can get this Engraver back, and then I'll turn some things on in the future, so that's good. So I normal summon the Lurie, they let it go. I go Fiendsmith Requiem, and then they use this to send Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. Negates. They use that because they activate a monster to set Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which really cooks my deck. I go Nightmare to buff the Rafflesia, sending Harp. Then Harp. Since I know two cards, one of them can't be activated, the other one does nothing right now. So I go Girsu, send the Brass Bombard, then summon the token because they let me. I link the token into Galatea Eye, and I was thinking, like, I can't get the field spell here, unfortunately, because if I get the field spell, they pop it. And then I realized, like, okay, so what? If that's what they choose to do, then fine. So they go Holitea, so they can trigger this to get the Pudica to banish me. And I'm like, okay, they're going to banish the thing. That's fine, I can get it back. So I go Symbol Skeleton because I sent the Brass Bombard there on purpose, so I just wanted another name. Go Galatea, the Orcust Automaton. And the Galatea shuffle back the symbol. Set my copy of Orchestra Return, because hey, I play two, not just one. Send, draw two. I draw In Paradise and Crescendo. Crazy draws, by the way. So I go Ding to get rid of the Gravediggers, because I was thinking of Ding for the unknown, but I'm like, nah, Gravediggers cooking me too hard, I need to do it. So I send I banish the World Wand to summon back the Galatea Eye. Galatea Eye pitch the In Paradise to get back my World Crown. I go Battle Phase, just get rid of this before I lose the opportunity, because I was like, if this is Trap Hole of Spikes, then Dingirsu protects here, which is good. So I link for the second Galatea. Special summon this, so I have a extra deck, summon negate, or summon effect negate. Link these two for Longirsu, and it doesn't say his link point, it just says any linked monster. So I shuffle back Harp and World Wand to get rid of their Sarah. Then I decide to get rid of the extra deck's monster effect negate for Enlangirsu, get back this Nightmare and shuffle it back to steal Holitea. So now they don't have another 4. And then I kept this out of their grave so they can't use it to revive something. But here's the kicker. You may have noticed that with Galatea Eye, in order to summon itself back, I banished Dingirsu. Now I don't have the field spell, so it's like I can't summon it from grave. Why would you do that? Or why would you even put him there in the first place? Simple. Pudica. Pudica's effect triggers, because they banished my Galatea Eye, I get to summon any banished monster back, so I get to use this to get rid of the Pudica. So now they don't have another trap tricks. So now, because I drew my Orcust Crescendo, I'm actually in a really good spot here, because I have the Omni Negate, so if they summon anything, and it has an effect that activates on summon, boom, it's gone. They summon Mantis, like the best card they can get, but, oh, Orcust Crescendo, and bye. And I have a feeling that the card in their hand was Terror Top, so them having the token meant they can't summon the Terror Top in hand. That's what I'm choosing to believe it was, because I find it very funny if that's the case. But yeah, I really, really liked that match. I One of the more fun ones I've had, and it's interesting that I'm saying that against a trap deck of all things. Uh, Next time I'm on, hopefully I will have the White Forest deck built on my main account, or because the season did adjust, I can kind of play Masochist on the alternate PlayStation account again. But because of the promotions going on, I'm not really running into White Force as meta. What I'm running into is 1 billion Labyrinth players, and I'm not playing against Lab, dude. It's like there's 2 Labyrinth bundles with 2 URs guaranteed. There's just a million Lab players, and I'm not dealing with that. But yeah, if you watch this, thank you. Make sure you drink some water, because I know I've been slacking on that today. I've had nonstop headaches. See you later, and have a good day or night. Bye bye.